Let me look at here real quick. Can you give 1 minute? Hello, everyone.
Let's talk after.
I don't know. Welcome, everyone. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Councilmember Daniele.
Present.
Councilmember Istvan.
Here.
Supervisor Albrecht.
Here.
Councilmember Foreman. Councilmember Rye.
Present. Next up. I don't know. I haven't heard. Next up is the adoption of the agenda. Present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Next up is the acceptance of minutes. Town Board regular meeting February 15th and March 1st. I present that as a motion. Can I have a second? Second. Carmine, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next up is going to be the public hearing for SECRA DGEIS for the comprehensive plan. I'll make a motion to open the public hearing. Can I have a second? Second. Carmine, all in favor? Aye. So the public hearing is now open for the DGEIS. Ms. Axelson, let us know what's going on.
Okay, I will. So just quickly, for the public's information, this is about the comprehensive plan update for the town of Fishkill. There was a 2009 comprehensive plan. We have an 18-member committee that's been looking at this since the fall of 2021, and they have reprioritized some of the issues there to address what's been addressed since the 2009 plan and create a whole new plan update, a comprehensive plan update. And because the town board is considering adopting the comprehensive plan update, they had initiated SECRA review, New York State Environmental Quality Review, to examine the possible environmental effects of adopting the plan. Just a quick footnote, the plan is all about objectives that relate to improvements and changes and looking at existing development and talking about how to facilitate development and substantially focused on improvements for the community, sidewalks, pathways, parks, facilities, possibly market rate and affordable homes, mixed use, those kinds of things, but no zoning is proposed. There are no amendments proposed to the zoning or any other code chapter, so it's all planning. And anyway, so I've prepared a draft generic environmental impact statement for the Town of Fishkill Comprehensive Plan update. The draft was dated February 7, 2023, and the town board declared it to be complete and circulated it. And it went out to adjoining communities, and it went to Dutchess County Planning. There were some comments from the planning department in Dutchess County. And the other thing to do here is to see if there's any other written comments, which I understand there may be, and also to open up the hearing and see if anybody has comments on the draft generic environmental impact statement. And the other footnote is that there will be a hearing on the draft comprehensive plan update at the town board's next regular meeting on April 5th. That's it. Any questions?
And Becky, did we get any comments about this?
No.
Okay, anybody in
the
town?
ones I sent you from the county, from Dutchess County.
Dutchess County? Anybody have any questions on this?
No.
Anybody from the public? Elizabeth, explain it one last time, what this is. Okay.
You know what, I don't happen to have, without digging through my bag in front of everybody. So it is on file with the town board. They had comments that were related to the scoping outline, and they did have some comments with the formatting, and also there was a concern about commentary. Oh, I wish I could remember some of
Well,
this.
chiefly what they said, if I recall, Liz, was that the DGEIS makes reference to certain documents which are not embodied in it, lists, appendixes, things like that. And they said, gee, if you're going to reference these other documents, it would be a good idea to attach them as appendixes or addenda at the end of it. There were no substantive comments saying you should do this or shouldn't do that.
I like your answer better.
Excuse me, you want to read it real quick?
Yeah. Anybody else have any other questions? I can close this, right?
The board should vote to close it, but there's a 10-day written comment period, so the motion should be close the public hearing, except for allowing written comments within 10 days.
Okay, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and to allow for 10 days of public comment. I'll present that as a
Written
motion.
comment.
Excuse me?
Written.
Comment for 10 days, so anybody can make a written comment 10 days. I'll present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Brian, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Public hearing is closed. We got an introduction of new employees.
Okay,
and
good night.
You're done.
Thank you, Liz.
Good night.
Okay, Liz.
Chief? Chief has a couple of promotions and a new employee.
Good evening, Supervisor, Town Council members. Here tonight to present one new officer and 2 officers for promotion. The first officer is John McDonald.
John?
John comes from NYPD. He retired there from there last year.
Good evening, members. My name is John McDonald. Like the chief said, I did 38 years with NYPD. I left in September. During that time, I covered patrol for years, and I've done the burglary team, warrants, the narcotics at the precinct level, crime prevention, community affairs in the last couple of years I was on, and I just appreciate the chance to work here at Fishkill, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Detective Carl DeMarco. Hopefully Sergeant DeMarco.
How you guys doing? Carl DeMarco. I appreciate the opportunity. I started my career in 1997 in the city of Newburgh. I did about 4.5 years there, where I transferred down to the city of Peekskill. When I was in Peekskill, I was a patrol officer for about 4 years. Got promoted to the community policing unit. Spent a couple years in community policing unit, where I was then moved on to street crimes, street level narcotics units, quality of life issues, where we were plain clothes. Did that for numerous years. Then I was assigned to the training unit, where I was responsible for all training for the department, all state, federal mandates that were needed for the department to be held accountable for accreditation purposes. We did all that. After that, I was assigned to the detective division, where I was promoted in 2014. Left the city of Peekskill in 2018. I came here to Town of Fishkill, where I was in patrol for a little while and got promoted to the rank of detective, and I appreciate the opportunity to be a sergeant here.
Can I ask you a question, Carl?
Sure.
I chatted with you about this,
Yeah.
and I had a real good conversation with you. I know we all feel the same way. You know, you've been with Fishkill and working hard, and you're a great asset. And one of the things that you said to me, which I really, really appreciated, and I think the town needs to know this, is that with all your years of experience and all the different jobs within the different PDs that you've done, it's that skill that you want to give back to young officers as they are hired when you work with them.
Exactly.
And that's just a real asset to the Town of Fishkill PD and our community. And I just wanted to verbally recognize that
No, of
that's a
course.
part of your motivation, and
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
appreciated.
I was able to work with numerous DA's offices between Orange, Dutchess, and Westchester counties, implementing new programs for street level identifications. When we have to do issues like that, if you have a crime and we have to identify the person, we were part of a pilot program for Westchester County DA's office, which I was involved in in revamping the whole way we do show-up identifications. We did that. I worked with the ATF on numerous cases, the DEA, the FBI Street Crimes Task Force. You know, it runs pretty deep, but I don't want to bore you here. But yeah,
I'm not bored.
I'm looking forward to giving back to, you know, not the guys that have been here, but the new guys that I can help along the way, you know, and kind of guide and just shed a little bit of the experience that I have with them and on the street here, and try to help them out a little bit and give back to the residents in the town that I live in.
It's awesome.
So, thank you.
Next up is Officer Mike Lacerbo.
Good evening, Michael Serbo. I started my career in 2000, City of Newburgh. I was in patrol for about 2.5 years, went to the anti-crime unit for about 3.5 years, and got promoted to detective, where I stayed the rest of my career. Started with the detective division, then went to narcotics, went to the FBI task force for the last probably 3-4 years of my career.
Any questions?
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So as you can see, these are all highly experienced officers. Appreciate the town board's consideration for these promotion requests. Finally, Tom Nafee, who's one of our police officers, he's also up for promotion to detective. He was unable to make it tonight, but he wanted to thank the town board for considering his appointment.
Will he come to the next board meeting? Is he available for the next board meeting?
I'd have to touch base with him and find out.
Okay, thank you.
We know we want to have pictures with the officers once we...
Well, let's do that now if you want to do it.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Let's have, yes, with promotions one and the new hired one.
Everybody together.
Everybody together.
Come on.
Greg, do you want to get in? Greg, do you want to get in the picture?
What are we doing?
Where you been?
When he comes in, you're coming back for pictures.
You saw the email, right?
I'm good at the bus out laughing.
Are you okay?
All right, that's done. Next up is privilege of the floor for general town items. Any items that anybody wants to speak about regarding the town of Fishkill, this is the time to do it. Come on, Russ.
Good evening, Supervisor Albert. Good evening, town board members. I just wanted to make some comments about a subject that's going to be on the agenda.
Yeah.
In regards to information recorded in the agenda packet, a 500-foot notice, as far as blasting, a 500 notice to all owners informing them of rock blasting is not a special exception to the requirements. The vast majority of New York towns require a 500-foot notice. I have examples, just a few of the towns and their blasting requirements if you need to refer to them. A physical and sometimes a video survey of all structures within that radius is also required. In fact, New York State DOT and the town has extensive rules, reports, monitoring, and documentation needed for all blasting projects, before, during, and after the blasting, no matter the size of the blast. An inclusion to the code of a minimum blasting distance to a Fishkill resident's home can only be a positive and responsible requirement. It will definitely ease Fishkill homeowners' concerns and fears of the possible damage from vibrations, a fact, or groundwater contamination or supply due to water course changes, a fact, or concerns for noise issues and possible personal injury. A minimum distance inclusion to the code will certainly show all Fishkill residents the town's commitment to their safety and the safety to their lifetime home investment. No one here would want explosions and rock blastings next to their home, maybe right on your property line, possibly inches from your house, no matter how small the said explosive charge might be. Please consider a minimum distance inclusion to the town call. It may even protect you one day. And as far as building inspectors' observations, beliefs, suggestions, and recommendations on this subject, they are only observations, beliefs, suggestions, and recommendations. Ultimately, it's the town board's decision to create a code or amend a code. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Russ. So your main concern is the minimum requirement? The minimum requirement?
Many houses, 500 feet to notice of a blast.
Right, okay.
Not the blasting being done.
You have to talk to him. Yeah, we'll talk to Thank you very much, Russ.
Thank you, Russ.
Anybody else? All right, what do we got here? Liaison reports, Louise? Oh, no, hold on a second. I'm first.
Yep.
I just have two things to mention. I had a great time at the Dutchess County St. Patrick's Parade, and had a good time with our centurions that live in Fishkill. We have 5 ladies that are over 100 years old. That was a great event. That's all I have for this week. Carmine? You got it? All right, Louise?
Let's see. I attended the Village of Fishkill meeting last week. Most of that meeting was spent dealing with the odor issues associated with the new sewer system that was being installed, that they're working on, but it seems to be a really big, stinky problem. I also attended the 2023 State of the County Address at the Culinary Institute of America, given by the Dutchess County Executive William O'Neill. The Fishkill seniors are celebrating St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, Thursday, for a full luncheon and entertainment. We have 2 buses going to see Shen Yung on April 20th, and April 21st is another Fairgrounds Marketplace. You have to sign up for that. The sign-ups can be found on the Fishkill Rec website. And also the PD is doing another presentation on their Are You OK program on Monday, March 27th at 11:30 a.m. It's posted on the website with a link to sign up.
Louise, do you want to say anything about we're starting the process for the brackets and the banners, and also getting estimates to hang them?
You can.
Okay, yes. So, good evening, everybody. So we're in the process of helping Councilwoman Daniele. We're getting the brackets ready for the Hometown Hero banner. She's doing a great job with it. And also how to hang them. This is going to be our first time hanging the banners. So we looked at a couple estimates. We went out to a couple tree companies to get estimates because they're professionals going up on a lift. And I want to thank John Lucarella help us get those proposals. And that we're trying to figure a way how many days it would take us to put them up for the first time. So we're working on that now. So we're getting a little bit step closer to getting this done. As for liaison reports, we have Brandon Knapp here today from Buildings and Grounds. I don't want to take his thunder away, so I will yield my time to him.
John?
Nothing.
Brian?
I just want to commend, just a couple of things real quick. I want to commend the Highway Department having 15 trucks out, starting at 1:30 in the morning, ending at 8:45 last night, then 5:30 this morning for cleanup. They were They did a great job, and the town should be very proud of them. Another thing is I was going to have a meeting on the snow day, but it's rescheduled with Peter Lyons of Little League, Kristen Cullen of the Food Pantry. We're reorganizing so that effort once again with the Renegades to support the pantry, so we'll have more information to come along at an appropriate time. A last thing, last year, John and I created and worked on a drug presentation in the drug crisis in Dutchess County and certainly in our area. One of the presenters was Sharon Herring, who talked about the organization that they started when they lost their grandson. So she has started up another organization, and I just thought I would do the courteous thing and mention it. It is a grief support group for people who are affected by the drug crisis. She says people new to loss, people struck in stages of grief, people who are dealing with guilt, people who are dealing with anger, people who understand our loss, and people who don't judge our loss. She asked that you call to get involved in this support group the second Thursday of each month, 6:30 to 8, and the number is 845-629-0030. And I just think that that's a very important thing to put out there.
Thanks, Brian. Follow up with Carmen?
Yes, I'm going to take some of my time, Brandon. I just want to thank the Highway Department and Parks and Grounds Department. They did an excellent job during a snowstorm, working 16, 18-hour shifts. If you hear your truck back up, the beep, beep sound, the sound of the plow hitting the roads, to me, that's a sound of safety. They keep us safe, our roads open, and I want to personally thank everybody for doing a great job, and you guys did a fantastic job. I was around all the time, just seeing what they were doing. They did excellent.
Thank you, Carmine. All right, next up is presentations. We have Mr. Brandon Knapp to give a presentation for Buildings, Grounds, and Parks. Mr. Knapp?
Good evening. I'm here tonight to provide some updates for the Buildings and Grounds Department. I'm just going to briefly summarize our capital plans and projects for this year. At Mauer Gearing Park, we are resurfacing the tennis courts and basketball courts. This involves cleaning, joint and crack filling, colored ceiling, and restriping. We're also adding 2 pickleball courts and all new nets. We will also be putting on a new roof on the storage and bathroom buildings, as well as rebuilding the dugout on the Senior League field. At Doug Phillips Park, we will be completing a new Century Park and pickleball courts. We refurbished the old tennis courts into the area that will be divided into 2 sections. All new surfacing will be installed within the new fencing. The Century Park will provide an area of play that is specifically designed for children with more sensitive needs, and it's an area of play that we do not have at any of our other playgrounds. The other side will be striped for pickleball courts, and new nets will be installed. At Camp Foster, we have already begun the process of bringing in power to the storage building. This will give us power for the building, which will give us access to the water from the well that's already in place and enable us to install an aerator on the pond. The aerator will be installed in the beginning of the summer. This will help with the water quality for the aquatic life. At Jean Van Pelt Park, the new bridge installation will provide us with an extension of our property. We are planning a boat launch for small watercraft and a new fishing deck in the future. In the police station, we will be replacing the original heat pumps. There is a total of 8 units between both floors. We will improve the efficiency of the units as well as avoiding any failure in the units. At the rec center, we are proceeding with the process of a new roof installation. This is a newer process that involves installation of a new roof over the existing roof. The process has involved the evaluation of the existing conditions as well as both structural integrity and design loads. This design is specifically ensuring that we solve the issue with the water leaks and guaranteeing further issues with an extended warranty period for the new roof. Over this past storm, we certainly utilized the Ranger UTV. We took the UTV and made some upgrades in order to make it functional for snow removal purposes. This is a great benefit to us, especially in this last storm, so I appreciate everybody for making that happen. These are the main 2023 projects that we will be working on, as well as our normal maintenance on buildings and parks. This will make it a busy year for our department. Thank you for the town board support in these projects, and both the equipment and manpower to complete these projects. That is all I have.
Anybody have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Carl? John? John?
The pickleball courts, are they going to 2 parks or just 1?
2.
And are they going to be resurfaced, or are they going to be a brand-new pickleball court? Or are you taking an area that's not being used and making it into a pickleball court?
So at Gearing, there's already 3 tennis courts, and then there is a smaller section which never really was the official size of a tennis court. So there's a warm-up wall there, so people can play on both sides. So there's still room on each side of that warm-up wall for 2 pickleball courts. So there'll still be 3 tennis courts, full size, and then 2 pickleball courts with still having the capability of using the warm-up wall on both sides, if nobody's using the pickleball courts. At Doug Phillips Park, the old tennis courts are completely shot, yeah. So a third of that is going to be the sensory park, and Louise has done a great job on putting that whole plan together from start to finish. And the other side is going to be the pickleball courts. So basically 2/3 is pickleball courts, and the 1/3 is the new sensory park.
Are they both getting resurfaced at all? Or
The
you
whole
just-
thing will be resurfaced. Yep.
Thank you.
No problem.
The residents wanted pickleball, we delivered. Thank you, Brandon. Just stay there for a second. I just want to read something. Stay there. I want to read a proclamation recognizing 25 years of service to town employee Brandon Knapp. Whereas the citizens of the town of Fishkill are served by talented and dedicated municipal employees who perform a variety of services and functions on behalf of the residents. And whereas Brandon Knapp was hired by the town of Fishkill in 1998 while still a student in high school for a part-time position in the highway department. And whereas since his appointment in 1998, Brandon Knapp has served the residents of Fishkill in a number of capacities, including motor equipment operator, laborer, cleaner, and working supervisor. And whereas during this time serving the residents of the town of Fishkill, Brandon Knapp has performed his duties with diligence, dedication, and exemplary conduct. And whereas Brandon Knapp, through his works as building, grounds, and parks working supervisor, has received a number of commendations from residents and town employees for his leadership and skill in responding to their winter weather situations, handling difficult cleaning jobs, assisting with town events, including those outside working hours, and keeping town facilities and park spaces clean and beautiful. And whereas the town board wishes to recognize those individuals who go above and beyond by dedicating their lives of service to the town of Fishkill community. And whereas February of 2023 marks 25 years of distinguished service by Brandon Knapp to the residents of the town of Fishkill. Now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Fishkill hereby proclaims its recognition and gratitude to Buildings, Grounds, and Parks working supervisor Brandon Knapp, and extends him his congratulations on completing 25 years of service to the residents of the town of Fishkill. And be it further resolved, a copy of this proclamation shall be presented to the Buildings, Grounds, and Parks working supervisor Brandon Knapp at the March 15, 2023 town board meeting, or soon thereafter as possible, in the spirit of recognition and gratitude, by order of the town board of the town of Fishkill on this 15th day of March 2023. Congratulations. Congratulations, Brandon.
Sure. Come on. Now, one,
It's up to him.
No,
It's up to him.
You're already on camera, so you gotta get a picture.
When you may run out, hurry up. Hurry up, he's gonna leave. Come on.
Oh, he doesn't want one, I thought.
Are you doing the statue? Wax on, wax off. What's up? I knew you guys were gonna do a picture of it from here. Shaded little closer.
No, absolutely.
Next up, we're going to go into executive session to discuss, this is just a pro forma thing I got to say, discuss the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. I'll make a motion to go into executive session. Can I have a second?
Second.
Carmen, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We'll be back in a moment. What? We're good? All right. Welcome back, everyone. All right, so executive session is done. Next up is discussion to add streetlights to Booth Boulevard. So we contacted Central Hudson, and they said the price the price that they quoted is right, but they wouldn't comment on them, whether we should be out of district or in district tenant. So I don't know where, Mr. Gabba, they wouldn't elaborate
Is
that.
Booth Boulevard a town road?
Yes.
So you took like it's a residential development, isn't it?
Yeah, to get to it, you have to drive through Fishkill into Wappingers and come back into Fishkill.
Okay. I'll tell you, if it is a town road, I can see where you might want to just put them in and have it as a town-wide charge, but it looks to me like it's just benefiting this one residential development. So if it's just benefiting the one residential development, I mean, it's a dead-end road, right?
It's like a loop.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you go in
Yeah.
and come back
So
out.
it's-
It's the same.
yeah,
One way in,
You
one
might
way
want
out.
to do a district and then just charge it to the houses that are benefiting from it as opposed to, having everybody pay for the lights. But I don't, maybe you do this for other residential developments.
I haven't done a lighting district yet, so I don't know.
Sharon said that it was not a lighting district, and if we
It's not
did
a
it,
lighting
we would
district?
have to get a lighting district. I thought we were going to ask the people if they really wanted it.
Well, I wanted to make sure that we got the prices right, and whether Central Hudson could give us their opinion. They did, and we're here. So you want me to notify the residents now?
Yeah, I want to, yeah, because if it's just one or two people, then...
No, there's probably about 30, 40 homes in there.
Oh, let's make sure, yeah.
I mean, if you can hold them.
I can prepare a letter.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
I think so. I mean, yeah, because I'd rather they pay for it than the town.
No, they're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
This is a matter of us creating a district. What's the cost for a district? Is it a big deal?
No, it isn't at all. It's the same as forming water or sewer district. You'd have to have an engineer put together a map plan report. Be quite simple here because you have the prices already and you know where the poles are going to go.
Right, engineer.
You'd have to come up with a figure as to what it's going to cost the residents who reside within the district. As far as this gets added to your tax bill for doing this, that you're going to have to do some mathematics on, but it's certainly doable. And then you hold a public hearing on it, and if you adopt a resolution creating the district, you file it with the county clerk, and away you go.
All right, so let's say there's 40 homes there, and it would have to be a majority of the property worth, right? The assessed value?
Yes.
All right, you guys okay with me just send a letter, see if there's any interest in it? Because maybe no one wants it, I don't know.
I would say, give them these prices, and make sure they know the prices.
Of course.
Don't let us know if they don't want it.
Yeah. All right, Greg, let's do that this week, tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right, so table that for 2 months, please.
2 months.
So that covers 1 and 2. Next up is discussion of memorializing the Association of Towns 2023 proposed resolutions. I've been doing a lot of studying on this, and I agree that we need to vote on protecting our town home rule.
Yes.
But I really strongly think that a lot of these requirements that the state may pass during the budget process, I think a lot of it we already got covered. So we might be able to thread the needle on this and comply with the state's demands while at the same time getting state aid. So this could actually work out to the benefit of the residents of the town of Fishkill. But I do support doing the memorialization, and I'll have more. I think we would focus on this a lot more after we get done with the comp plan. I want to focus on the state issues and our affordable housing. I think we're in pretty darn good shape regarding both of those. Anybody else have any comments on this?
No.
Over here?
Not
So-
at this time.
So we're going to be voting on what, resolutions 2 through 6? Those are the ones we're supporting?
In consent, and then we'll have a vote for the other one, I believe.
Yeah, they're in consent.
Yeah, so the ones in consent, we're going to be voting on, and then the ones that are not in consent, we're going to vote on individually.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so that's on, you got that, Beck?
What?
All right. Number 4? Consent, okay. All right, so the blasting permit. Any updates?
I spoke with Joel, well, as I'm sure the board recalls, first you asked me to look into the notice issue. I came up with a provision that would require notice of applications for blasting permits in addition to the notice that people within 500 feet are supposed to get for blasting. So when the board considered that at the last meeting, there was public comment to the effect of, you should really have a minimum distance written into the code in regard to how far away you will allow blasting. And there's an issue as to how far that should be and what the basis would be for coming up with a particular number. So I got in touch with the building inspector, and Joel and I talked about it. It's going to depend on a number of things, not the least of which is the size of the charge. But certainly you can set a minimum figure for any charge. I mean, if you take the smallest charge it would be, that's the minimum figure. But when we discussed it, to pick 2 particular sections of your blasting provisions and just say, oh, we're going to tinker with these, doesn't really make a lot of sense. You really probably want a deeper dive on what it says, and if everything that's in there now makes sense. We have to talk to your engineers anyway. CPL is who we'll be getting in touch with, to figure out the information regarding the distances, the minimum required distance for blasting. So what we want to do is sit down with an engineer from CPL, go over everything in the blasting section you have, see if anything needs to be updated or changed, and then we'll come back to the board with commentary and a proposal for a revised blasting section to your code. Okay. That's probably going to take us all of April, though.
That's fine, that's fine.
So, I mean, if you want to put it back on for the first meeting in May, that's fine, but to sit down and actually do the math and the works on this is going to take a little time.
Do you have a contact at CPL yet? Or you want
Joel said that he'd called someone there, I think it was John Bodendorf. if I'm not
Bodendorf, okay.
mistaken, and they were going to put us in touch with their blasting expert so that we could set up the meeting.
Greg, tomorrow, let's connect Bodendorf to Mr. Gaba and let them work on that.
And
I have a question.
There's a notification part of that, too?
There's right now in the code a provision that says that the times of blasting, when they're actually going to do the blasting, are supposed to be communicated to people within 500 feet by the, either the party doing the blasting or the property owner. So what we were going to do is, in addition to that, have a requirement that whoever applies for the blasting permit, when the application for the blasting permit is put in, must also send out notices saying, hey, we're applying for a blasting permit, this is the property, this is the work we'll be doing. So there'll be 2 notices. First, the notice, should blasting take place at all, and if so, are the proposals for it okay? And secondly, it's going to take place on this particular day and this particular time so that people can prepare for it. But, there are a number of additional provisions you could put in. I think tonight was mentioned the possibility of requiring a survey for houses and structures within 500 feet. Or could write that into its code if it was
And
appropriate.
verification that they sent the notifications out.
I'm sorry?
Verification, they sent the notification.
They have to send to get the blasting permit, they have to send proof that the notification for the application went out. Right now, I don't believe there's a provision for verification of sending out the notice of days and times of blasting. So
That would
it's the
probably
type-
be a good thing to do,
The type of thing. Like I said, when we do a deeper dive on this,
Yeah.
we come up with proposals like that. We'll get a memo to the board, and you can kind of go over it in detail, decide if it's acceptable, or you want other things, or what have you.
I think it's good.
Okay. Last May of, table this to last meeting of May, second meeting of May. Thank you. Next up is insurance recoveries for,
No.
number 5.
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, right, sorry about that.
Discussion of budget modification to the 2023 adopted highway townwide budget for insurance recoveries. I think that's about, what'd you see, 29,000 coming to us?
29 and 1,000 that we had to pay, that was our deductible or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody okay
That's
with
for a
that?
tree falling on a piece of equipment, correct?
Yes. Because we got to modify, that's the resolution we got to fix, right?
Yep. So that's going to go to did I put that in consent?
Resolution.
It's a regular resolution?
Yes.
Yeah, it's number one, resolution number one.
Amended. We have to amend it, sir.
We have to amend that
We
one?
adopted, we need to
Okay,
amend
that's the one, okay.
Just so you know.
All right. All right, this next one up will be number 6, discussion of resolution for out-of-district water tenant connection. Anybody have a problem with that?
Which one is this?
Number
Where is
6.
it? No, but where is it?
5 Huber.
Oh, okay.
Is that the house that we're going to knock
So it
down?
was for sale?
Yeah, they're fixing it up, it's looking really good.
You didn't
This
buy
is,
it?
this is good. This is one of our, we've had like, we've had
Not
five,
common.
we've had 5 properties that were dilapidated. We ended up knocking down 2 houses, and 3 complied with this number 5 Huber being into compliance, and it's a beautiful old home that's going to be restored. So this is something nice that we've
Do
done.
they not, they didn't have water, what do you have, wells there?
No, they had a well.
Oh.
The rest of the neighborhood has
Is it-
water.
Oh, so they want to be connected to the town?
Yeah,
Carmine, is it that first house?
Yep.
Yeah.
On the left.
yeah. So this
Oh,
is a
that's
real
on
nice
water.
thing. We save historical house,
That's a nice house.
and we get them water. So very good. Next up is to hire William Gilbert as seasonal employee for highway department. He retired from here, right, Becky?
Pardon me?
He
He
retired?
retired.
He retired,
He
okay.
did. He worked 30 years. With
I know Mr.
highway.
Rayover.
Your voice is
Is that what it was?
It was a
Your
while.
voice is
A
changing.
lot.
Welcome back.
Your voice is changing.
I understand that he's a
Yeah.
great asset, and he
Phone number's
knows,
He is.
he's got a CDL, and he knows the equipment, and
He is.
it's a perfect
I
thing.
remember him.
Perfect
He's a nice
fit.
guy.
All right.
Yeah.
So put that on consent. Next up is number 8, discussion of resolution to declare building department vehicle surplus. Any problems with that, guys?
No.
Consent. Number 9, discussion of resolution to appoint part-time seasonal employees to the recreation department summer camp. Everybody okay with that?
Just
Consent?
finish the rest of camp that says ca.
What is that? Okay. Number 10, discussion of resolution to authorize application of out-of-district sewer connection. It's the same house. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Consent. Number 11, discussion to authorize issuance of request for proposal for the Maura Gearing Park surface sealing project. This was, Mr. Knapp talked about this, so we have to put that out for a bid to get this job done. Everybody okay with that?
Yes?
Consent.
Yep.
Discussion to appoint Carl DeMarco to position of patrol sergeant. Everybody okay with consent?
Oh, yeah.
Next up, discussion of resolution authorize issuance of up to 1.7 million. Discussion of resolution authorize issuance of up to 1.7 million aggregate principal amount bond. Any comments on that?
No.
Okay. That's going to be in for a resolution. That's going to be for recreation roof repairs and a bunch of highway vehicles. Next up, number 14, discussion of resolution to appoint Bernadette Scheibel as hourly police assistant. I got that in consent. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Next up is discussion to appoint Tom Nafee and Michael Lacerbo. Lacerbo is here today to detective. I got that on regular resolution. Everybody okay with that?
Very good.
Next up, 16, Detective John McDonald to position of part-time police officer. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Consent. Next up is privilege of the floor for agenda items.
So sad.
Okay.
Russ, nothing?
Russ, you good?
We have 2 possibilities
Bob?
here.
We good?
You good?
All right. Next up, I'll present a motion to adopt the consent agenda. I present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Foreman, all in favor?
Aye.
Next, all right, I gotta read some stuff. Up is a resolution to authorize modification to the 2023 adopted highway townwide fund budget for insurance. Whereas the town is obligated by the general municipal law to maintain a balanced budget in the governmental funds and propriety funds, and whereas the controller has requested a budget modification to the amount of supplemental insurance recovery received for seized police equipment, I'm sorry, this is the one we have to... Seized highway. So, okay, so I'm going to change for highway equipment, and whereas the request for an increase of revenue line, David Adam 12204.2680, comma, highway townwide insurance recovery by $29,973.60, and the increase of expense line Delta Adam 51305.0431, Highway townwide machinery expenditure repairs by $29,973, and whereas the town board has considered a proposed budget modification and submitted to the control and deems it to be in the best interest in the town to make this budget modification, now therefore be resolved, the town board, the town of Fishkill hereby amends the 2023 town-wide DA fund adopted budget as stated. I'll present a motion to amend this to include, to strike police and put highway. So I'll present that as a motion for that one change, and I'll present it as a motion for a vote. Can I have a second?
Second.
Carmine, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 2, resolution to memorialize Association of Towns resolution to provide all towns with the authority to. Now therefore be resolved the town board as follows. Section 1, the town board calls for the governor and the state legislature to amend VNT Law 1662 so that all towns have the authority to set speed limits via local law on the town roads within their jurisdiction and within the limits outlined in the statute. Section 2, a certified copy of the resolution shall be made to the Association of Towns. I present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, nay, sorry about that.
You're a no?
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
no.
All right, that's 1, 2. Okay. All right, next up is that $1.7 million bond. I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the resolution.
Second.
Second is Foreman. All right. So the motion to approve the resolution of the issuance of serial bonds for the town of Fishkill in an aggregate principal amount of up to $1.7 million pursuant to New York State local finance law in order to finance the cost of reconstruction of the town recreation center, the acquisition of machinery and apparatus for construction and maintenance in and for the town, and the other objects and proposed specified in the resolution. I'll present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Brian? Roll call vote?
Is that a resolution?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a bond resolution.
1.7 million.
Yeah, I just didn't see it in the agenda packet. Is it in there? The agenda packet?
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Resolution 3.
okay.
Councilmember Daniele?
Aye.
Councilmember Istvan?
Yes.
Councilmember Foreman?
Yes.
Councilmember Rye?
Yes.
Supervisor Alborough?
No. Number 4, will be a resolution to appoint Tom Nafee and Michael Acerbo to detective. Now therefore be resolved, the town board as follows. All whereas, paragraphs and incorporations herein by reference set forth in full. Section 2, the town board hereby approves the appointment of police officers Tom Nafee, Michael Acerbo to the Detective Bureau, subject to all terms and conditions set forth in a collective bargaining agreement and in accordance with the Town of Fishkill Police Department policy, and subject to the approval of Dutchess County Human Resources. Section 3, the town supervisor and his designee, he be and are hereby directed to take any and all actions necessary to carry out the provisions of this resolution. Section 4, this resolution shall be effective immediately. I'll present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Brian? Roll call vote.
Councilmember Daniele?
Did you want to speak about it first? I
This is the
apologize.
detectives, right?
It's 2 people promoting the
Yeah.
detective. You
No,
good?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Yes, aye.
Councilmember Istvan?
Yes.
Councilmember Foreman?
Yes.
Councilmember Rye?
Yes.
Supervisor Alborough?
Yes. We have no items for special, do we have any items for special consideration? No. New and old business, Louise?
Let's see. Okay, so I just have something written out here. So March is Women's History Month. It is a time to recognize and celebrate the countless contributions women have made throughout history. In addition, intentionally commemorating this month provides an opportunity to reflect on the progress that has been made in advancing gender equality and acknowledge the ongoing challenges women face. By highlighting the contributions of women from diverse backgrounds and experiences, we can broaden our understanding of historical achievements and promote greater inclusivity in our cultural heritage. Also bringing attention to issues like pay, equity, and access to education and healthcare helps us work towards a more just and equitable world for everyone. I would like to highlight and honor the women who work so hard each day for our town and celebrate the contributions they have made to ensure our town runs smoothly. I'm just going to rattle off a list of everybody's names. Louise, she's the assessor's aide. Debbie, the planning board and zoning board secretary. Hunter and Debbie, they're in the clerks in the building department. Mary's a clerk in the comptroller's office. Olympia, Sharon, and Corinne, they're all in the comptroller's office. Kathy is the secretary to the highway superintendent. Suzanne is a Suzanne is the director of human resources. Brenda is the court clerk. Ginny and Michelle are the clerk to the justices. Cheryl is a police assistant. The following are all police officers: Kelly, Jamie, Gianna, Alyssa, Marie, and Jennifer, and, Jennifer is the police sergeant, and then Alexandra is the police officer. Joyce is the secretary for the police department. April is the animal control officer. Laura, Kathy, and Bernadette are police assistants. Hannah is the recreation assistant. Lauren is the assistant recreation director. Kaylin, Patricia, Kaylee, and Annabelle are all recreation assistants. Marianne is our recreation events coordinator. Catherine is our tax receiver, and Becky is our elected town clerk. Let's see. I would also like to acknowledge our volunteers. Jody, she's on the planning board, Isabel on the zoning board, and Kathleen on the zoning board, and as well as the women who keep our buildings clean on a daily basis, and those that I failed to mention, those who come before me and those who work outside of our town to represent us at all levels, Village Mayor Kathy, the trustee Trudy, and our county legislator Yvette. I'm proud to work with each one of them to move our town forward together. Know that together we can teach young girls that they can achieve whatever they set their minds to. Thank you, and I just wanted to thank all of the women and the hard work that they do for our town.
Very good, Louise.
Thank you, Louise.
Oh, and also, purple, green, and white are the colors for Women's History Month. So I just wanted to note that. Purple is for solidarity, green is for hope, and white is for purity.
Carl?
I have nothing.
John?
No.
Brian?
Nothing.
I had a request from a former employee about his father who also worked for the town, who was also a councilman, Mr. Thies. He asked me for a request that I rename the assessor's office after his father. I'd like to do it, maybe a small plaque. He asked me if I would bring it to the board's attention, and I'm bringing it to the board's attention if you guys want to do it.
He was the assessor?
No, his father was the assessor. His father worked for the town for a long time as the assessor, then he was a board member, and then the son, I believe, worked for the highway department.
So you want the plaque for the father?
The father.
Who was the assessor in the assessor's office?
Yes.
Is that to be given to the son, or?
Well, the son made the request. He brought me a scrapbook this thick about all the stuff he's done, the family's done for the town of Fishkill.
Oh,
Plaque outside the office.
Yeah, outside the
Oh,
office.
is that what you're doing? Okay.
Becky just said, and up until his death, he was actually on the appeals, what is it, Becky?
Board of Appeals.
Board of
Board of
Appeals for the
Assessment Appeal.
assessments, yeah.
So he's a worthy candidate of it, so you guys okay that I move on that?
I'm fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you. That's one more thing, Greg, tomorrow we'll work on.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to say thank you to John and Brian for your hard work on the comprehensive plan.
We're getting there.
Getting there.
Almost 2.5 years.
Well, I mean, we came into it towards the tail end, and so.
No, it wasn't a tail end. You've been in for a year.
True.
Yeah, so back half.
I just want to compliment all the volunteers that are on that committee, because they're truly dedicated, and there are a lot of things in there that are just very aspirational for the town, and they put a lot of good time and consideration into it, and so I commend them.
Yeah, commend both of you.
Including Greg.
Greg, too, thanks.
Hey, Greg.
And Peter.
Peter
Yes,
doing
yes,
that.
Pete has been, he has a 100% attendance record.
Yes, and I would
Give him his props.
And I was hoping to have my legislative stuff done with the comprehensive plan, but like I said earlier, with the state thing coming up, it never ends. So we'll be prepared for that. We're going to be ahead of the curve on that, and we're going to make the residents of Fishkill proud with that. So anyway, next town board meeting will be April 5th.
Yes, sir.
One more thing, Louise?
Yeah, I just want to apologize. I won't be able to attend the next meeting. I'm going away on spring
Both of you
break
off?
with my family, yeah.
You too?
Me too. I'm actually headed to Florida, so.
And I'm not going away with Carmine.
Brian, are you going to be here, Brian?
Yeah. So it's just, you and I outvote him and just do all kinds of.
It doesn't count. You need 3 votes.
No, I know.
Please don't sell the entire town.
Okay. So April 5th is the,
April 5th at 7 PM.
no, April 5th is also the plan, the comprehensive plan public hearing.
That is correct.
All right. See you guys April 5th. God bless.
Okay.
Present as a motion, can I have a second?
Second.
Louise, all in favor?
Aye.
Well done.
Let's go home.
All that in an hour and...